to see how unified the Republican Party was on today's vote concerning statements I made about 4 Democrat congresswomen. They are now the top most visible members of the House Democrats, who are now wedded to this bitterness and hate. This was the first time since 1984 that the Speaker of the House was ruled out of order and broke the rules of the House. Quite a day. Jesse, as I watched that last night, all I could think about was these people are voting about words. They're voting on words.
Not actions,
and
words.
We have so many problems that they could be working on and need to be working on. And they're going to say that they ran out of time before the August break to get things like immigration done. And you want to bring that video back up and say, well, you spent time voting on words.
Well, it's funny because you see how fast Nancy can deal when she wants to. She really put the pedal to the metal there. 24 hours, she whipped up a vote to condemn the president. That was a show vote. How about closing the asylum loophole? Boom, fix the border crisis. We're done there. But she doesn't want to do that, so she'll play games with this stuff. They had no teeth last night. Republican unity was very strong. This is a base election. Reuters poll showed that Republican support actually went up for the president after this weekend. For me personally, it was not about race. It was about patriotism. Love it or leave it is not racist in my opinion. But the Democrats, they're kind of in a tough position because if you're a swing state Democrat in a county that Trump won, and you're now on record as saying Trump's racist, that's not good. And the president's forced all the Democrats to coalesce around a very nationally toxic squad. I don't really think it serves them very well at all to do this, and it makes them just look like they don't care about wages or health care.
Can I bring up some other numbers, too? And it's kind of on line of what you're saying, Jesse, with regard to just the swing voters part of that. So an anonymous Democratic group leaked an internal poll, we know this week, to Axios. And it was 1,003 participants in this poll. The poll found Ocasio-Cortez had just 22% approval rating. Representative Omar of Minnesota had 9% approval rating among those 1,003 likely general election voters who are white and have 2 years or less of college education. It also found that if all voters hear about as AOC, it puts the House majority at risk. She is getting all of the news and defining everybody else's, according to one of their Democratic sources. Capri, I put this to you. This is toxic for your party.
It is, and I've been saying this all along. I mean, when we are defined as socialists, if, AOC in the quote squad is whom is representing us nationally, look, I am a Democrat from a county that Donald Trump won in the state of Ohio, part of my district that I represented for a decade. And so this is an issue, and I think that, number one, the people that we talk about winners and losers in this, show vote, the absolute losers here are the American people because we are not doing the work of the people. But just 2 quick points that sort of stuck out to me. One being this parliamentary sort of the rules issue that got Nancy Pelosi. This is actually classic because when you're in the minority, one of the only tools you have to fight back against the majority is parliamentary procedure, and they used it well, and I think that sort of dampened the strength of whatever the Democrats were trying to do there. They were trying to put the Republicans on record so they could run those ads basically saying fill in the blank is a racist. I don't know how effective that will ultimately be. But the other thing that I came away with is out of those 4 Republicans that voted for the resolution, one was Fred Upton from Michigan. And to me, this was emblematic of the difference now between establishment Republicans like Fred Upton, who was chairman for a long time of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, one of the most powerful committees in Congress, and now what is Trump's Republican Party. So there's a huge schism here. This is Trump's party now. It's not the party of, the 90s and even George W. Bush.
Emily?
Yeah, just to respond to what you guys were saying, I totally agree in that this was, a largely and frankly weakly symbolic action on part of the Democrats, and also really transparent, and it failed because it wasn't executed without them attacking one another. And I think it kind of illustrates that the Democratic Party at this point, especially on the Hill right now, they're taking it one step at a time rather than having that larger, broader view, which the voters have, so that looking back, we can say, oh, how did you fill your time and what things did you accomplish? Rather, we say, we don't care about that. The parliamentary procedure has no effect on kitchen table issues,
Agreed.
right? We need to have some type of actual action that we can count on. And especially in this day and age of social media and whatnot, people's displeasure and their condemnation of remarks happens all the time, all day anyway. I don't need that procedure to illustrate to me who feels a certain way.
No, that's so true, and that's such a great point, because the American people, I think, no matter what side you're on, you view it from I have a very busy day and I'm going to dip into this for a minute or two. Did they make any progress on the issues? How is this impacting me? You may dislike what the president tweeted. You may think it's racist and may bother you or not, but it doesn't directly have an impact on your bills, your mortgage, your life, that sort of thing. And to see them spending a lot of time on this, it kind of boggles the mind.
So we have the pictures of the 4 Republicans and 1 independent of the 197 who usually vote like Republicans. And Jesse, you mentioned the cohesiveness among them. They stuck together. You know, the story isn't that there were 4 votes yes, GOP. The big story is that there were 197, or rather 193 who didn't. Will Hurd then followed up with, it may take some time, but what he'd like to see is that there be condemnation by Nancy Pelosi on Democrats who've said things that are offensive, so on and so forth. And we've been talking about that since Monday.
I mean, Nancy already held a vote condemning hate last month.
Yeah, but she didn't name the perpetrator.
Yeah, because they watered that down.
Yeah.
So they don't even need to hold a second vote like they did yesterday, because we all are against hate, and we all know that hate is bad. So let's get on to the business of America. And if you look at the Pelosi Congress so far, what have they done besides shut down the government, bungle the impeachment proceedings, and call Trump racist? They've done nothing.
Well, she's working hard to do all the things that Capri was talking about. She's trying to keep the party from cracking up.
Well, she's not doing a very good job.
All right, we'll move on. Meanwhile,